Come on in, guys. Come on in. Come on in, guys. Come on in. Come on in. Hey, I see you in the chat, Latricia. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the live, guys. Come on in. Come on in. Hey. We got some things to talk about tonight, y'all. Come on in. Come on in. And welcome to the live. Hey. Hey, Valerie. Come on in, guys. Let's go. All right. Welcome, 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 and welcome back to the live. Guys, let me know if you can hear me. I just put my mic in, and I want to make sure that I am being heard. Can you guys hear me clearly? Let me know in the chat before I proceed with my commentary. Yeah, let me know if you guys can hear me. Let me know. How's everybody doing tonight? How is everybody doing? Okay, thank you, Latricia. Okay, so as you guys can see from the title, tonight's live, I'm going to be giving you guys a little bit of information on alopecia. The different types of alopecia, that is. Hold on one second, y'all. I just want to do something really quick. Yeah, I'm going to be giving you guys some information on the different types of alopecia. And as you can see from the title, most of you know that I am a licensed cosmetologist, but a lot of you don't know is that I'm also a certified hair loss specialist. Okay. And there has been a lot going on the internet with the whole, Jada Pinkette having alopecia thing and, this whole situation and whatnot. So I figured, since this is a situation that's being talked about a lot right now online, why not come on my platform and educate my people on alopecia? Because I'm sure a lot of people aren't really clear as to what exactly alopecia is. I believe that most people do have a general idea what alopecia is, but I'm going to break down for you guys on this video exactly what alopecia is and the different types of alopecia. It's not going to be a real long live because I'm tired, but I did want to come on here before the night was over and before the weekend came in with this topic, because this weekend is going to be a busy weekend for me and I'm not going to have time for this, but I wanted to get this in tonight before this weekend came. And, so here we are. So I acquired my certification not last summer. I think it was the summer before last. And I acquired my certificate. It was a 3-day course that I took to become a certified hair loss practitioner. And basically what I can do is, if someone comes to me and they are experiencing hair loss, I can not what's the word I'm looking for? I can't diagnose what type of alopecia they have, but what I can do is identify the alopecia that they have. But I can't give them a diagnosis because I'm not a doctor. I am a hair loss practitioner, meaning that I can't prescribe medication or anything like that, but I can treat problems like that with different types of shampoos, and then they have different types of laser treatments and stuff like that. And those are just some of the things that I'm able to do. And I also have I meant to bring my microscope home with me. I should have brought it home with me from the salon. I do have a T1 scope, a microscope. It's called the T1 scope. And with that scope, what I'm able to do is look at a client's scalp under the scope, and I could identify what the problem is and also suggest different types of treatments and things like that they can start using to grow their hair back. Because the thing about alopecia is there's only one type of alopecia. And I'm going to get into the different types of alopecia in a minute, but there's only one type of alopecia that your hair will never grow back. But the other types of alopecia, your hair can grow back. Now, is it going to grow back like, all fast and like a full head of hair over the same period of time that someone with a healthy head of hair is going to grow? No, it's not. It's one of those situations where you have to be patient and just be, have that stick to itness through the process of the hair growth process. Hey, how you doing, Vel? I see you in the chat. I see Dave Renee. I see Daryl. How you doing? Hey, S. Pryor. Thank you. So tonight what I'm going to do is I'm going to share on my screen some information about alopecia. I wish I forgot my glasses, y'all. Hopefully I'll be able to read this without my glasses. So y'all bear with me. But I'm going to share with you guys some information on some different types of alopecia. I just put it up on the screen. As you guys can see in my title also, I have what kind of alopecia does Jada Pinkette have? Now, I'm not Jada Pinkette's doctor or specialist or whoever it is that she went to get her diagnosis. So I really can't say what type of alopecia she has. Now, I can guess based on the information that I'm going to share with you all what type of alopecia she has, but I can't say without a shadow of a doubt what type of alopecia Jada Pinkette has. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the information that I have for you guys. I'm going to read for you all. Hold on, y'all. All right. So I'm just going. Can y'all see? Is the screen information that I have on the screen, is it moving? Okay, I see it. I'm looking at my phone and making sure that the information that I'm sharing on the screen is actually being shared the right way. Okay, so now this whole hair loss, there is so much more information about hair loss than alopecia. So what I decided that I'm going to do for you all is I'm going to break this up into different parts. So tonight, I'm just going to go over alopecia. And at a later date, I can go over with you guys the other aspects of hair loss. But tonight, we're just going to be talking about alopecia. So let's go ahead and first of all, the meaning of alopecia simply means hair loss, period. That is what alopecia means. So, yeah, alopecia is just simply hair loss. I'm trying to find the information for you guys, some specific information. Okay, so before I go over the different types of alopecia, I want to go over with you guys some hair loss facts. So, fact number one, the hair loss market is a $5.4 billion industry. So why not get a hand in it in this untapped market, right? That statement right there, that last part of the statement doesn't apply to any of you guys. That basically applies to myself, me being a cosmetologist. You know, this was one of the things that was mentioned to us as licensed cosmetologists, because this is such a lucrative market. Being a cosmetologist, why not tap into something like this? Because there's so many people that suffer from hair loss. And so that brings me to fact number two. 80% of hair loss sufferers ask their stylist first for help. So why let them go elsewhere? So basically, if you're a hairstylist and you know, you have clients, like 80% of your clientele is going to come to you about hair loss issues, and you have the ability to help them with their situation, why allow them to go someplace else when you have the ability and the capability of gaining this information and knowledge and helping your clients? Fact number three. Hair loss can begin as early as in your 20s. Believe it or not, you can experience hair loss in your 20s. Fact number four. 50% of men and 30% of women suffer from genetic hair loss. Okay? This is not including other types of hair loss. This is only the genetic hair loss that you have. 50% of men and 30% of women. Fact number five. 1/3 of all people have noticeable hair loss in their lifetime. That's a lot of people. 1/3 of all people. That means, when they say all people, that means Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, Indian, it doesn't matter. 1/3 of all people have noticeable hair loss in their lifetime. The next one is, in America, that's over 100 to 150 million people. So that means that most of you that are watching this live broadcast right now may or may not suffer from some sort of hair loss, or maybe you have already suffered from some sort of hair loss. 97% of all male hair loss is male pattern baldness, and 70% of female hair loss is female pattern baldness. And last but not least, 50% of all women by middle age have some noticeable hair loss. Okay. So we all know that Jada is a middle-aged woman. She's in her 50s. So she falls in that category of women who is suffering from some sort of hair loss. Right? So now let's go ahead and get into the different types of alopecia. But before we get into that, let's go into what study shows in terms of when women start to suffer from hair loss. So studies show that females under age 50 reported feeling a very severe emotional blow. 29% admitted feeling scared. 29% admitted feeling scared. 47% say they were embarrassed. 15% felt unattractive, and 28% experienced paranoia. And let me tell you guys how I know this to be very, very true in terms of the 47% of women who suffer from hair loss being embarrassed. I have clients with alopecia, and most of my clients who have alopecia, they always want to be in the salon by themselves. They never, ever want to be in the salon when someone else is there, or they would rather for you to come to their house if you could come to their house, because they are embarrassed. They feel like people is talking about them. This 28%, the 28% that's experiencing paranoia, that's the 28% of people, those 28% of people, they feel like the other clients in the salon is looking at them, talking about them, whispering, making fun of them, things like that. And I mean, being a man suffering from hair loss is definitely different from being a woman suffering from hair loss, because a man can get a bald head and be comfortable with it without feeling he's going to get any type of backlash or ridicule behind it. But when a woman cuts her hair bald, that's a whole different ball game. That's a whole different ball game. You got to worry about what people are going to say. What are they going to think? Like, it is like a whole different ball game for a woman suffering from hair loss versus a man. Now, I'm not saying that men don't also feel embarrassed or different types of emotions and stuff like that, because they do, but those type of emotions are mostly coming from women when they lose their hair, not so much men. Okay, so now we're going to dive into the different types of alopecia. I'm just scrolling up now. Okay, so alopecia. Again, alopecia is a medical term which simply means hair loss. Alopecia does not refer to one specific hair loss disease. The number one cause of hair loss is androgenic alopecia. Clients may begin hair loss as early as their teenage years or in their 20s. So we're going to go over the first type of alopecia. And that first type of alopecia is androgenic alopecia. Androgenic alopecia. I'm going to write that down in the chat so you guys can I'm going to write the name of that type of alopecia so you guys can see exactly how it's spelled and all of that. So it's spelled androgenic. That's the first type of alopecia right there. Thank you, Teresa. So that's the first type of alopecia. Now let's go over what is androgenic alopecia and its cause? Okay. Hold on, y'all. Okay, here we go. Androgenic alopecia is that form of alopecia is genetic. So androgenic alopecia is a common genetic condition caused by a chemical in our bodies called dihydrotestosterone, referred to as DHT. As our bodies break down testosterone, it becomes DHT. Are you guys following me? So dihydrotestosterone is also referred to as DHT. And as our bodies break down testosterone, it becomes DHT. DHT is dihydrotestosterone, which is a biologically active metabolite or hormone, or the hormone testosterone. This metabolite travels through our bloodstream and attaches itself to the base of the hair follicle on the androgen receptors. Okay. There's y'all can y'all see this picture right here? See this picture? This picture right here is a demonstration. Let me make it a little bigger if I can. Hold on, guys. Let me see if I can make this bigger for y'all. It doesn't look like I can. Hold up. Oh, yes, I can. All right. We'll make that bigger. And then we're going to bring this over. All right. All right. So again, dihydrotestosterone is a hormone. Okay, so dihydrotestosterone comes from the hormone testosterone. The testosterone that's in your body, it turns into DHT. So the DHT, what it does is it attaches itself to the follicle. And what happens when the DHT is attached to the follicle cannot get nutrition and oxygen that it needs in order to grow or survive. So that's what happens. The DHT, dihydrotestosterone, which is a biologically active metabolite or the hormone testosterone. This metabolite travels through the bloodstream and attaches itself to the base of the hair follicle on the androgen receptors. And the androgen receptors, what the androgen receptors does is that's responsible for passing food and oxygen to our hair follicle. Okay. So again, the androgen receptors are responsible for passing the food and oxygen to our hair follicle. So when the DHT attaches itself to the hair follicle, that hair follicle cannot get any nutrition or oxygen that it needs for it to grow or survive. So then what happens is, in time, that hair follicle begins to shrink in size, and the hair growing from the follicle begins to get finer and thinner until eventually the thin, weakened hair will shed and the follicle will not be able to produce new hair, hence hair loss. So that is the androgen. That is the androgenic alopecia. Did everybody understand that? Did you guys understand that? If you didn't, you can always come back and watch this video again once I am done. So that is the first type of alopecia. The second type of alopecia, let me see. Thank you, Espari. I'm trying my best to break it down for you guys, you know, as simple as I can, like in layman's terms, because I know sometimes this stuff could be a little confusing. And then when you haven't heard certain words, it's like, what? It sounds like foreign language and things like that. So I could definitely understand if it's not understood. So I'm trying to break it down as best as I can. So the next type of alopecia that I'm going to talk about is it's called diffuse alopecia. Right? I'm going to write that in the chat for you all. Let me put that in the chat. Diffuse alopecia, Diffuse, diffuse alopecia. All right. And let's go back to now, what is diffuse alopecia? All right. Okay. Diffuse alopecia. Diffuse hair loss is generally refers to the excessive hair loss for the entire or large portion of the entire scalp. As a person's hair is replaced, so a person generally never can go bald with this problem. But because a person's rate of hair loss is greater than the rate of replacement, a person's hair gradually thins over time. Let me repeat that. Let me repeat that for you guys again. Let me repeat that. Diffuse hair loss is generally refers to excessive hair loss for the entire or a large portion of the entire scalp. I'm going to show you some pictures of what diffuse alopecia looks like too. A person's hair is replaced, so a person generally never go bald with this problem. But because a person's rate of hair loss is greater than the rate of replacement, the person's hair gradually thins over time. And this basically comes from the fact that our hair doesn't grow as fast as people think, because hair, believe it or not, only grows like a quarter of an inch or a half an inch a month. So if you're experiencing hair loss faster than your hair is growing, it's going to look thinner than it would, you know, over time with this type of alopecia. Y'all following me? I hope that you guys are following me. Diffuse hair loss generally has few physical signs that will aid the examiner in deterring the cause of hair loss. Since other disorders like alopecia areata, patchy hair loss, or many scalp disorders often have these signs, it can be one of the more difficult types of hair loss to determine. This excessive hair loss is often a temporary reaction to stress, emotional traumatic, or may be caused by an upset in the normal environment or in the normal body or in the normal body physiology. This can put your skills to the test. Okay, so this diffuse alopecia is one of those type of alopecias that is not easy to determine, because it's not like a total hair loss, if that makes sense. right? Okay, so let's go down. I want to show you guys some pictures. Let me show you some pictures of what diffuse alopecia looks like. Here is some pictures right here. This is a picture right here. I'm gonna make it big. Let me make it big for you. So this picture right here, this is an example of diffuse. This is an example of the diffuse alopecia right here. Okay. All right. So that's one, the second one. Now let's get into the third type of alopecia. Hope everyone is following me in the chat. Let me know in the comment section if you are not following me. Okay, so the third type of alopecia is called alopecia areata. So this is how you spell this one, the areata. Now, I don't know if I mentioned it to you guys, but the first type of alopecia, which is androgenic alopecia, that's the most common type of alopecia. I'm sorry, no, it's not. It's not. That's that first type of alopecia I mentioned to you guys is the genetic alopecia. That's the type of alopecia that is, passed through family traits or whatever the case may be. Not the most common. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. But this one is called alopecia areata. Alopecia areata. This one is the most common type of alopecia. So alopecia areata is considered an autoimmune disease. Is a sudden loss of patches of hair, and it could progress to totalis. Totalis meaning total scalp hair loss, or universalis. Universalis is referred to as loss of all of your body hair. Okay. Alopecia areata is most commonly found behind the ears and the nape of the neck. It typically first appears when the person is under stress. It's common in children, and it often becomes worse in adulthood. Can be aggravated by poor sleeping habits, eating habits, and a low immune system, illness, and stress. It usually appears when a person is under a lot of stress and may happen once in a person's lifetime, or let's see. Says it usually happens when a person is under a lot of stress and may happen only once in a person's lifetime, or may appear under due stress first. There is no known cure, and most commonly found behind the ears and the nape of the neck. There's three types of areata. So you have three types of alopecia areata. You have areata, which is the patchy hair loss. You have totalis, which is complete hair loss on your head, or you have universalis, which is the hair loss on your body. So these are some pictures of examples of alopecia areata right here. These are some examples of alopecia areata. Let me make it big for you guys to see right here really quick. These are some examples of alopecia areata. And this picture down here, you see where this picture right here, where it looks like little strings right here. This is what the scalp, what the hair and scalp looks like under a scope. So under a scope, if this hair and scalp is looking like this under a scope, this would be determined as alopecia areata. Okay. I'm not sure as Prior if he has alopecia or not. That's a good question. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. If he does have alopecia, that would explain why he keep his head in a baldy. Okay. Here's some other pictures over here. Examples of alopecia areata. Let me show you guys. And again, these types of alopecia that I'm talking about right now, the hair can grow back from these types of alopecia. Now, will it grow back at the same rate as a person with a normal, healthy head of hair? Absolutely not. But here are some before and after pictures of people who underwent treatment from, suffering with alopecia areata, the specific alopecia that I'm talking about right now. So right here, this picture right here is the before picture to the left, and then on the right is the after picture on both heads of hair. Okay, so that is the alopecia areata. Next, we're going to be talking about, I'm going to give you, hey, CeeLo G, better late than never, honey. Better late than never. So the next type of alopecia is called cicatricial alopecia. Cicatricial alopecia, also known as scarring alopecia. Okay. Now, this type of alopecia is the only type of alopecia that cannot be reversed. This type of alopecia cannot be reversed. Your hair will not grow back. It is just no treatment, no cure, no nothing for this type of alopecia. This type of alopecia is permanent destruction and fibrosis of the hair follicle and cannot be reversed. What Latricia said, what about children born with no hair on their body? On their body? I don't know about that, Latricia, but most of the time when children aren't born with hair, they're going to grow some hair. I'm not sure about that one right there, though. I can't really answer that. Yes, as prior, autoimmune diseases definitely can cause alopecia. And that one that we discussed earlier, that was the diffuse alopecia. That's the autoimmune. So things like lupus, stuff like that, that's an autoimmune disease. Okay. No, CeeLo G. There's different types of alopecia, but we're gonna get to that. The traction alopecia too, as prior. We're gonna get to that. Hey Rose, how you doing? All right, so let's get into this cicatricial alopecia. This type of alopecia is the permanent destruction and fibrosis of hair follicles and cannot be reversed. It may be caused by infection, burns or chemical burns, insect bites, trauma, neoplasm, or the result of other diseases. It may also be, congenital. Sometimes you're born with it. Maybe this is the alopecia that Latricia was asking about. But this is alopecia on your head. the cicatricial alopecia. I'm not sure about the body here when it comes to cicatricial latricia. So infection or inflammation may not always be visible. Symptoms of scarring alopecia can be burning, itching, and even scalp pain. While we can't reverse the scarring process, and revive the follicles which have been damaged, we can effectively treat some symptoms um, of discomfort, and that's it. But no regrowth will occur. So all you can do is just treat the symptoms of discomfort. So if you're itching or something like that, you can treat that with maybe some itchy shampoo or itchy cream or something like that. But your hair cannot grow back. Underlying causes may be lupus or other autoimmune disorders. Testing and treatment by a doctor is essential. So this type of alopecia, if someone comes into go to a trichologist, because a trichologist can also determine these types of hair losses. So if a patient or a client goes to a trichologist or a dermatologist or whatever, they would more than likely recommend them to go to a doctor to get like blood tests to see if there's some other type of underlying diseases that's causing the hair loss. And then that can also in turn give the patient a diagnosis of something else that's going on in their body, the reason why they're losing their hair. They didn't even know that, they had some type of autoimmune disease that caused them to lose their hair. So what happens is the immune system begins to attack the hair and the skin follicles under the scalp. Then the scarring tissue can take place, which makes it impossible to regenerate hair growth. In extreme cases, the scalp will then become shiny and smooth. I've seen this too. Once that scalp is looking shiny and smooth, then you know that there's some scarring present and that hair cannot grow back. So the name of that alopecia, I didn't put it in the chat, I'm sorry. This one is called cicatricial alopecia. Cicatricial, how am I spell cicatricial? Cicatricial alopecia. All right. So that's it for that. So we know that with the cicatricial alopecia, hair cannot grow back. Hair cannot grow back with cicatricial alopecia. I know for me, before I took this course, um, I didn't know that there were different types of alopecia. I thought that alopecia was just alopecia, period. And yeah, I didn't know that there was different types of alopecia. Well, you know what? I'm lying because I've always known about I knew about traction alopecia. I didn't know that there was so many other types of alopecia. So that brings me to the last one, which is the traction alopecia. And the traction alopecia is the one that is caused by tight pulling, braiding, hair weaving, stuff like that. So it says traction alopecia. This form of alopecia is caused by constant pulling and tugging on your hair due to extensions, braids, weaves, tight ponytails, etc. With the increasing popularity of extensions, this form of hair loss, once most commonly found with African American women, is now common throughout all ethnicities. So not only is African American women suffering from traction alopecia the most. All ethnicities is suffering from it now because all the ethnicities are starting to do different things to their hair, like the braids and stuff like that. That's why I don't understand, why is it that people would go to these Africans to get their hair braided and allow them to pull and braid their hair so tight? Like, there's no way that I would let someone braid my hair so tight like that. Mm, 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 mm. This type of alopecia is reversible. So with this type of alopecia, your hair can grow back. But again, just like I said with the other types of alopecia, anytime you experience any hair loss and you are wanting or waiting for your hair to grow back, you got to be patient. It's not going to happen over time. It's just not. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen fast. It's going to happen, little by little over time. So it says extension services over time can weaken, damage, and cause breakage to the hair, making it appear thinner and eventually forcing the client to give up on extensions as a whole because of hair loss. As far as this, I don't understand why so many women continue to put stress on their hair. Yeah, I don't understand it either. But this is a picture of an example of traction alopecia right here. This is a picture of an example. I'm gonna bring the screen over for y'all to see. Y'all see how thin her edges look? And I think that most of us already know what the traction alopecia look like. So that's pretty much it for the alopecia segment of this hair loss segment that I'm going to be doing. I do want to, like I said, I'm going to come on and do some more segments on hair loss. I just wanted to focus on alopecia tonight. I hope that this information helped you all and that you understood it. I hope that I broke it down and everything was as simple as possible. Again, alopecia, just because you have hair loss does not mean that you can't grow your hair back. You can definitely grow hair back. In fact, hold on, guys. I wanted to show you all something. Give me 1 second. I want to share something with you guys before I go in this pamphlet that I have with some information. Hold on. So what I wanted to share with y'all was some information on some products. The product is called XTC. It's a hair rejuvenating system. And they have different types of products that can help with hair loss. So they have like Dht blockers. These things, it's a pill. It comes in a pill form, and it's the Dht blockers. So with the Dht blocker, what it does is it blocks. Remember when I said earlier about the dihydrotestosterone, how that your testosterone turns into DHT over time. And what happens is the DHT attacks the hair follicles. And it what it does is it not attach to hair follicles. It attaches itself to the androgen receptors. And once it attaches itself onto the androgen receptors, it's blocking the hair follicle from getting the nutrition and oxygen that it needs. So the DHT blockers, the pills, what they do is block the testosterone from forming and turning into DHT. And all of these products actually has DHT blockers in it. They have a product here called Scalp Prep. Scalp Prep is a product that would be used on the scalp. And what the Scalp Prep does is it lifts the sebum that's like built up on your scalp. It's so much to this, y'all. For me to really get into all of this, it's going to take me to do like a couple of live videos, and I really can't do it all tonight. I'm not going to get too much into what each product does. I'm just going to tell you guys the name of each product. So which with these products right here, like I said, they got the pills, they have something called hair boost, they have the scalp prep, they have a shampoo, they have a conditioner, and also what's this right here? This is this is called XGT. It's a unique herbal formula packed with DHT fighting ingredients. So like I said, all of these products have DHT fighting ingredients in them. This is just one of the brochures. They got different packages that you can buy. And I can get all of these products. I retail these products. Then on this brochure right here just basically shows you the different types of alopecia, right? And it's showing on here when you had your consultation. So right here, right? This is when the person came in for their consultation. And then this was after 90 days, how the hair grew back. See how the hair grew back there? And then this is another situation where the person came in for a consultation. And then this was after about 4 weeks. But these aren't, wait, let me see. This is the consultation. And then here, this is after, what it says, after 90 days. So, like I said, it's not something that's going to happen overnight, but you will see results. What else they have here? So yeah, just different types of products and things like that. And on another video, I'll go more into details about each product. I'll go into more details about other things pertaining to hair loss. I'll go into more details about, what the scalp and the hair is made up of, which is sebum, and how, sebum buildup affects hair loss and stuff like that. Like, it's a lot of different factors involved in hair loss. So that's going to be it for tonight, guys. I hope, like I said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that this information that I gave to you guys was informative, and just to give you a little bit of insight of what Jada Pinkette might be going through. Now, what type of alopecia Jada Pinkette has, I don't know, but if I had to guess what type of alopecia Jada Pinkette has, I would guess and say that she may have either alopecia areata or the androgenic alopecia. Those are the two that I would guess that she have, but I don't know. I'm not her doctor. I'm not her trichologist. I'm not her hair loss specialist. So I really don't know, but I'm just trying to make as much of an educated guess as I could. And I would say that it could be between those two types of alopecia, and the androgenic alopecia, as you all heard from me earlier, that's the alopecia that is genetic. That's the genetic alopecia. Yeah, so that's it for this video. Thank you, Espraya. Espraya, I would never thought she had alopecia because she's always kept her hair short. Yeah. Yeah, she does look really good with that baldy. She really do. She has a really nice bald head and everything. But as y'all heard, like over 100 to what was it, 100 to 500 million or 500 billion people in America alone suffers from alopecia. So it's not far-fetched that she would have alopecia. Most of you guys, including myself, may get alopecia someday. I mean, we're gonna knock on some wood, and in addition to knocking on wood, we're gonna take care of our hair. We're gonna not pull it tight with braids and weaves and things like that. And we're just gonna take care of our hair and our scalp to make sure that we can prevent that from happening. All right. You're welcome, Rose. Everybody, thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, tap that notification bell next to it, and share this video, because sharing is caring. So with that being said, guys, those of you that was here with me from the beginning to the end, I appreciate you. Those of you that was here with me from the middle to the end, I appreciate you. And even those of you that came in at the tail end until now, I appreciate you. So doesn't matter where you came in at, I appreciate each and every one of you, because you took the time out of your busy schedule to spend it with me. And I appreciate each and every one of you for that reason and that reason most. With that being said, everybody have a good night. I'm going to bed. Later, guys. Peace. Bye. Bye, Selena.